is increasing awareness of the benefits of breastfeeding in Hong Kong.
There's a lot of antibodies in the breast milk that you cannot produce from just formula. I really do not want to, give up on breastfeeding before 6 months old.
The number of moms breastfeeding their children has risen sharply over the last 2 decades. However, a lot of the Hong Kong moms have to stop breastfeeding when they return to work.
叫我就自己睇住嚟做啦，咁我話老闆唔中意，咁你就唔好再喺公司泵奶啦。即係佢直頭係講話唔好喺公司度泵奶咯，係啦。咁佢就話其實好影響嘅。
But in Hong Kong, many mothers have no choice but to return to work after 10 weeks of maternity leave for financial reasons.
做嘢同唔做嘢會相差幾萬蚊㗎啦，都係啊。
In this month, Hong Kong Inquirer will look into how difficult it is for working mothers to continue breastfeeding their children after they return to the workplace. Hong Kong is a society where women are viewed as independent, capable, professional, and even after they give birth to babies, they go back to work and support the family financially. That's pretty normal, but it has now become one of the major barriers for working mothers to continue breastfeeding their children until the babies turn 6 months old. The number of Hong Kong's moms who breastfeed their children have shot up from 19% in 1992 to 84% in 2013, thanks to an increasing amount of promotion from the government as well as NGOs. But the numbers dramatically drop after the mothers leave hospital and before the babies turn 6 months. The World Health Organization's recommended minimum time to stop breastfeeding. In terms of exclusive breastfeeding rate, namely those who use no milk substitute, Hong Kong rates poorly compared to other places.
Exclusive breastfeeding is the best, and it kind of, it progressively goes down from there. So we see that the greater amount of formula that's in the infant's diet, the higher the risk of a lot of things like respiratory infections and gastrointestinal infections.
Norris Wong is a mother of 2. She managed to breastfeed her 2 children till they were both at least 6 months old. But it wasn't easy for her at all. Her previous company did not allow her to breastfeed in the office.
咁我生完第一胎小朋友嘅時候咧，咁我都係喺公司度泵奶啦。咁但係泵咗一段時間之後咧，老闆就同管理層講，咁就叫我唔好再喺公司度泵奶，話即係好影響公司，同埋咧連即係啲奶咁我放喺雪櫃，咁其實都好正常啫。咁其實公司嘅雪櫃正常嚟講都唔會話放好多嘢嘅。咁佢都唔准許我放啲奶入即係公司嘅雪櫃度咯。咁到我再生第二胎嘅小朋友嘅時候，咁我就匿埋咗喺個梳化房嗰度去泵啦。咁即係其實間梳化房係密封嘅，咁其實一個好少嘅 area， 咁我基本上我都係坐喺個紙箱上面嘅啫。咁但係都發現咗，咁都係叫我唔可以喺公司度去泵奶咯。
But Wong did not give up. She found a breastfeeding room near the company. She would spend 25 minutes going back and forth to the only breastfeeding room in the area every day during lunch break to express her milk. She breastfed her first child until she was 2 years old, and she continues to breastfeed her second child, who is now 14 months old.
有打過去平機會度問嘅，咁平機會答覆咧就話佢唔可以唔俾你泵奶，但係佢未必一定要俾一個地方你去泵咯，係啦。咁其實即係個問題都係解決唔到咯。咁因為佢而家係唔俾我喺公司度泵啊嘛。
Wong is not the only one who faces this problem with her employer. Many of her friends had to give up breastfeeding their babies either because the companies do not allow it or do not provide adequate facilities. According to the Hong Kong Breastfeeding Mothers Association, about 47% of the companies in Hong Kong do not allow working moms to have 2 30-minute lactation breaks during their work time. That's worse than in the Chinese mainland, where the law stipulates that companies must provide working mothers who have kids under 1 year old to have at least 1 hour of lactation break during the day in the workplace. Hong Kong does not have such a law in place.
About 3/4 or 75% of Hong Kong mothers go back to work within about 8 to 10 weeks postpartum. So, and this for most of them is not a choice. It's, they have to go back to work for financial reasons. Most workplaces do not support a mother to continue breastfeeding, either to have the baby brought into the workplace so she can continue breastfeeding, or even so that she can express her milk while she's at work to feed her babies. Only about a quarter of them actually manage to do that. So employment is a big barrier. A lot of our studies show that's one of the strongest risk factors for stopping breastfeeding in Hong Kong is going back to work. And we know that mothers who don't have to go back to work, or at least go back to work after the baby is 6 months old, do tend to breastfeed for longer than mothers who go back to work.
可能有啲媽媽佢可以選擇做全職嘅媽咪嘅，咁可能佢屋企即係可能同先生佢哋嘅能力可以負擔到啦。咁而家我自己有2個小朋友，咁其實負擔都會大嘅。咁你話我想唔想選擇喺屋企度即係全職咁樣湊佢哋啊？即係呢個當然係會好想啦。咁我可以花好多時間去陪佢哋啊，教佢哋啊，同埋餵奶方面我完全唔需要擔心，我全天候我只要抱佢埋身我就可以餵佢。咁但係都要都要客觀嘅因素要去符合到先得咯。
做嘢同唔做嘢會相差幾萬蚊㗎啦，都係啊。
Alison Lee Ah-woon is a safety officer at a construction company. She returned to work right after the 10-week maternity leave. Her baby is now 5 months old, and she expresses her breast milk at this room twice a day during lunch break and tea break.
多啲更好嘅俾小朋友啦。如果爸爸媽媽都一齊出嚟做嘢咧，咁嗰個錢銀嗰方面咧會鬆動啲，咁又可能會暫時揾到其他人去照顧小朋友啊，包括可能要請工人姐姐啊，咁喺屋企都要用錢嘅。空氣清新機都好似係3-4千蚊一部啦，咁電費嗰方面，以前我哋得2個人嘅時候，可能得300-400蚊，至500蚊左右。今次收到成1500蚊左右㗎啦，已經都係第一次去收到呢個電費單啫。
你哋有冇請工人之類？
有啊。
嗰個又要去幾多錢咧？
平時一個月4110蚊啦嚇。
The women that have the biggest challenge are kind of in that middle income group, because the lower income mothers maybe don't work. If the family income is low, that's because the mother doesn't work, and so she will stay home so she can breastfeed for longer. The mothers in the higher income families have more flexibility. They either have a better job that they can continue breastfeeding, or they have flexibility to take an extra 2 or 3 months of either vacation or unpaid leave. And so in some ways it's kind of V-shaped, that the higher longer duration of breastfeeding at both ends of the economic spectrum, and in the middle it's all the mothers that have to work, and they tend to have the shortest breastfeeding duration.
Lee is a very lucky mom. Working in a construction company under a manager who understood her need and made an effort to provide her the minimum facilities required is quite something.
我哋喺工地一個工地嘅員工都做到呢樣嘢，更加比其他啲全職嘅媽咪啊，即係又做緊嘢，即係做緊事嘅媽咪多啲鼓勵同埋支持，鼓勵佢哋做呢個母乳餵哺咯。咁我希望做到呢個信息俾個社會同埋俾其他啲媽咪。
At present, the Hong Kong government is calling for more companies to provide a working environment that is breastfeeding friendly.
Right now, we started with voluntary way of doing, this policy, as well as, trying to provide advice and also support, to these, employers, rather than, having a law. I think we have to obviously then monitor, how it works with our sort of advice, guideline, support, and see what will be the next steps.
But to encourage exclusive breastfeeding in Hong Kong, where there's a strong culture here that everyone works extremely hard, just having physical breastfeeding facilities in place doesn't seem enough to help.
Corinne Ho Williams is a typical Hong Kong woman who works very hard. The company that she works for provides 2 breastfeeding rooms. Her employer allows her to work 2 days out of 5 working days from home. Mrs. Williams wants to continue to breastfeed her daughter, who just turned 6 months old. But it was very tough for her to do that.
It's so much work and so many meetings during the day, and a lot of those meetings is out of my control. I would have probably 4 or 5 meetings every day in the office. And also I need to work with other colleagues, so I can't just say, okay, so I have to block this time every day, for example, 3 p.m., like 10 a.m., 3 p.m., to say like no disturb. I cannot do that. So I have to kind of like just flow with my work schedule. And then if I can find some time to pump, I would pump in the office. But in the past 2 weeks, I haven't been able to pump at all in the office.
Mrs. Williams also suffers from an insufficient supply of breast milk because of work stress, unhealthy diet, and sleeping hours.
Quite a few, lactation nurses, consultants, or even like breast doctors, they all seem to suggest that my ducts are pretty clogged up because of stress. Basically, that's the stress causing your hormones to respond in a non-natural way, even before the baby was born.
As a senior manager, Mrs. Williams represents a lot of the working moms who value their career and they're dedicated to it. Their dilemma in pursuing what they want and given what the baby should have is a difficult one. But Professor Tarrant said there are things that the government could do.
Many of them, if they had a longer paid maternity leave, would choose to stay home. They would choose to be home, and they could breastfeed for longer then. But we only have 10 weeks, of which usually only 8 is after the birth, 2 weeks is before the birth. So that's not a long time. And other studies showed as well that for every week, extra that the mother has in maternity leave, the breastfeeding rates go up. So even the difference between going back at 8 weeks and 12 weeks makes a difference in breastfeeding. So the longer, the better.
So then, would the Hong Kong government consider extending the maternity leave? The Undersecretary's answer in a nutshell is not now.
This would be something more complex than asking the employer to provide breaks for the mother. So this would be a really sort of long-term area to look into. Yeah.
When I think about my baby, I also think about what kind of role model I want to set up for her, and I really want her to appreciate the beauty of being independent as a female. Independent in terms of finance and also in terms of your own thinking, so making your decisions based on what you think is the best for yourself and also your family. That's why I decided to, continue my current job.
This is what a lot of Hong Kong moms would resonate with. Extending the statutory maternity leave may be a complex subject, just as the Undersecretary has mentioned. But it's also a very straightforward wish of a lot of Hong Kong moms who want to continue breastfeeding their children. This is Andrea Deng for China Daily.